Born in the heart of colonial Kenya, shaped by a legacy of courage and conviction, this is the story of Raila Amolo Odinga, a man whose name has become synonymous with Kenya's long, winding journey toward democracy. From imprisonment to power sharing, from opposition to statesmanship, his life is the chronicle of a nation's pursuit of justice and unity. Raila Odinga was born on January 7, 1945, in Maseno, Kisumu district. His father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, was among Kenya's founding fathers and the first vice president. Growing up in a home defined by politics and activism, Raila learned early the cost of standing by your beliefs. Justice, equality, and courage, these would shape his destiny. In 1962, a young Raila left for East Germany, a world far removed from his village home. He studied at the Herder Institute in Leipzig, then at Technical University Magdeburg, where he earned a master's in mechanical engineering. The discipline, order, and socialist ideals of East Germany profoundly shaped his political and economic outlook. Returning home in 1970, Raila joined the University of Nairobi as a lecturer in mechanical engineering. In 1971, he founded East African Spectre, one of Kenya's first indigenous manufacturing firms. His engineering background merged with his entrepreneurial spirit. By 1978, he had become deputy director of the Kenya Bureau of Standards, a respected technocrat in a fast-changing country. Then came 1982, the failed coup against President Daniel Moi. Raila was accused of complicity, detained without trial, and held for nearly 8 years. Solitary cells, constant surveillance, a test of endurance few could survive. But Raila did. When released, he continued to call for multi-party democracy even from exile in Norway. In 1992, Raila returned home to a new era, multi-party democracy. He won his first parliamentary seat for Lang'ata and became a central voice in reform politics. Over the years, he would lead and reshape political movements Ford Kenya, NDP, LDP, and ODM, each one building his legacy as a defender of the people's will. The 2007 presidential election was Kenya's most divisive moment. Violence tore through the nation until a power-sharing deal restored calm. Raila Odinga was sworn in as Prime Minister, serving alongside President Mwai Kibaki. Together, they oversaw one of Kenya's proudest achievements, the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, a blueprint for a fairer, more devolved Kenya. Beyond politics, Raila Odinga became a continental voice for unity and development, serving as the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure. In 2018, he stunned the world with the Handshake, a moment of reconciliation with President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was more than a truce, it was a statement that peace is the highest form of patriotism. And years later, in 2024, Raila would extend that same spirit of unity once more, this time to President William Ruto. A symbolic moment that bridged years of rivalry and reaffirmed his belief that Kenya's progress depends not on perpetual contest, but on cooperation and national healing. The handshake with Ruto represented a new chapter, a gesture of maturity, reconciliation, and a shared vision for Kenya's future. For a man who had long fought from the opposition benches, it was proof that leadership is not only about resistance, but about knowing when to reach across the aisle for the sake of peace. For over 5 decades, Raila Odinga has been the heartbeat of Kenya's democratic struggle. Nicknamed Baba by his supporters, his life tells us that democracy is not a destination, but a journey of courage, conviction, and hope. From Maseno to Magdeburg, from committee to the African Union, this is the legacy of Raila Amolo Odinga, a man who never stopped believing that Kenya can be better.